see her level damage. So
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another. Wow.
Vortex kick.
Vortex kick. Art's
And
down.
killing that
Gotta be
Barton.
game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's game.
Hi everyone and welcome back to Wbel Season 2. We're really glad to have you here for our second season. I think it was important for us to do at least another one since we really had a lot of fun with the first one. And here with us for the first roster analysis video, we have Alkor, the Grand Champion of Season 1. So welcome Alkor.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Alright, so before we jump into the roster selections, we'll just go do a little review of the rules for this season. So, for the roster, it's in between 8 and 12 units. Like Season 1, all the costs are customized. But this time, we'll do the same as WDL did the last season. So we'll have a total roster cost. For this season, for our league, it's going to be 700. And for the teams, we have a minimum of 3 units, of course. And the team's comp will be 200 maximum. So this is really low. But I think that it adds a little spice to it. And like Season 1, no mono element teams will be allowed. We'll have also special rules for this season. The Veritas of the Events TMR will be cannot be used in battle this season. We saw in WDL how impactful this TMR was. It was used in every single fight, so we decided to not allow it for this season since it cripples way too much the old units that doesn't have a good AP management. Also, for the map effect, all season long it's going to be nullify city up down. So it's another thing that we wanted to add to help the old units a little bit more, because they don't have those effects, so they won't be left in every single fight. Alright, I guess we'll start with me. I had a very difficult season in WDL. With Great Sword and Spear, so I decided to make a different team for this season. I couldn't help it, but I removed my bow users though, unfortunately. So I decided to go with Astrius, Glaciella and Volke as my main DPSs, main unit with a big cost. Volke, it's a little blind pick because we don't have him yet. He's going to be released in 1 or 2 weeks, so it's a little leap of faith, but we'll see. So, Chisei, what do you think?
Well, like you said, there's a lot of great sword, a lot of spear there. But I do like it. You've gone with the warm triangle here with the wind, lightning, fire, which, like I said, we saw the prevalence of the water, ice, earth. So I like this, at least from a change of pace standpoint. And like I said, this is a very numero roster. I see you haven't really deviated too much. I see Glaciella, Astrius, Rain, Shootselt, the usual suspects in the numero roster. So love to see it. You put in a lot of work with those units, and so being your first opponent, definitely a little scared of what I'm seeing right now. But in terms of pairings, Astrius, Shootselt with like a Zazan. Oh, does that work? Yeah, Astrius, Shootselt, Zazan works. I see Glaciella, Surgis as a spear with McLeod, which is really good as well. So there's just some good pairings. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the thought process, and I'm a little scared.
I think Volke is such a spicy pick. Like you said, it was a blind unit that you have no idea how he's gonna perform. So I think picking him in your roster is such an A+ move. Very excited to see him pop off. I think you have good synergy in terms of element, and then you can swap it easily with sub jobs. Like you have the lightning greatsword combos, and then you have the wind spears, and then you can splash it with some of the other elements, the warm triangle elements, to sort of cover out the weakness. What I do like is you also picked a lot of really strong low costers. Zazan definitely is such a huge low coster unit that can do a lot of things. Disrupt, Man Eater down, and then Sosha, I think, and Surges, even without the Keen Blade, did a lot of work, especially with the slow, the silence.
All right, perfect. So this was it for me. We have a very special guest this season. So we have the Church of Auronnj. Very glad that he joined first PvP tournament and that he chose us for for his very first attempt. So here we have. So he decided to go with big front units and then very low costers to complete his team. So we have A2, 2P, King Bradley, and Squall. So here are all the knights. It's in the. They're all in his team.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Wow. Right off the bat, I am sorry to jump in, but I just have to point out the Thancred pick. I am so happy to see that. I wanted to pick him so bad, but I just couldn't fit him in. But I am so glad to see the Thancred get some representation here among all of these other just A+ knight units right here. Like, honestly, because if you pair up Thancred, Whisper, and either Bradley or Squall, that is a scary team. That's a very bulky team that's gonna deal a lot of damage. So I'm excited to see it in action.
No Eileen.
Yeah, first thing I looked for was Eileen, but I think Thancred being there sort of makes up for it.
Exactly. As soon as I saw the name of the church, I was like scanning for Eileen, but sadly no. But I get it.
I do think that Auronnj not picking a lot of water units to support the fire, to support against fire, means that he's pretty confident with how his Earth team would deal with any fire opponent. So I think that's very interesting. So glad to see that he can pair Bradley and Noctis. That I want to see that pop off really, because I picked Noctis before and it was so hard to get him to work properly. So I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, it might be better with 200 cost setup.
And of course, the last thing I have to mention, because I haven't said anything about it yet, is his mascot unit, Auronnj. Like, yeah. Auronnj picking Auronnj, you gotta respect it. Yeah. And at 50 cost, I was really thinking he was a steal. Like, if I haven't used him really at all or seen a lot of him, so I was afraid to pick him because I just haven't chopped with him enough. But I think at 50 cost, he's a beast of a unit. So I think that was a good choice from Auronnj as well.
Agreed.
Yeah, we'll see A2, Auronnj, and probably I will say Liarte
or Tyrell. Yeah, Tyrell gets the
water.
With
water and ice. Yeah,
of
course, preferable. Next one is Chisei's.
All right, as I mentioned before, all the light units are in my roster. The light units,
a lot of light units.
The light units, the axe units, and the glove units. All the ones that were like not represented. I was like, oh man, that's me.
I can just stop my eyes at Lucio, and right there, I know that I can beat you on week one.
Lucio is just a crazy unit. I tried to pick units that I don't use that often, but I really wanted to use. But Lucio just kept staring me in the face. I'm like, I gotta pick him. He's so good. He's my ace in the hole.
Well, you didn't use him in the community tournament yet, so it's okay.
That's true.
I see the Lucio carry and definitely scared of it already. But what made me happy about this roster is seeing Hope there. I know Chisei is a big Hope fan. And seeing the rest of the roster, you can easily pair with Renault and Revelka, and I'm sure those three would put in a lot of work.
That's the dream, is to be able to play that glove team. I wanted a lot of the roster, to be honest, is around Hope. Like, I really wanted to have Sakura, but I couldn't justify the cost. So instead, I have Elshra as like a budget Sakura, but she can also do Quicken and things like that. So I have the light magic team there. Glove and Axe actually have some pretty good VC synergy there. So I have the Axe units there also with Hope. So yeah, a lot of it is very Hope centric with some other stuff sprinkled in.
Next, we have Ereshmelt. So Eresh, bienvenue dans notre ligue. He's a French player that stand out in the What If official tournament. So we are really glad to have him here. So yeah, on his side, we can see Fang, and right off the bat, the dagger evasion. So we have Rissel, Resnick the Hoppy, Frederica in the warrior side, to Little Lila, Violet. So you gotta prepare for evasion if you go against him.
See, the thing I'm thinking of is at least I don't need to play mind games about whether Ereshmelt will play evasion or not. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be evasion.
But even that, because like I said, the one choice, the one I didn't pick in my roster because I was so tired of playing her, even though I still am advocating for tournaments to ban her, is Little Leela. Just because that one choice makes you so scared to play any of your magic units. So if your magic unit is the accurate one, or the ones with a lot of guaranteed hits against Erish, you're still playing a gamble there. Where it's like, do I bring my magic unit even though they have guaranteed hit? But he could bring Little Leela and just shut down my whole game plan. So I do like the Little Leela choice. I like the evasion, and most of all, I like the Fang because she's a new unit. I have not seen her once because I just haven't seen her around that often. I don't think a whole lot of people pulled for her, and I do think she's really good. I haven't got to see her, and I want to see her pop off. And I'm hoping Erish is able to do that as long as it's not versus me or something.
Same for me. I think a lot of the picks of Erish is pretty good. They focused on a lot of low costers, Fang being the highest cost unit, so they have a lot more to play around with in terms of team comps. So it's nice to know that they can play a lot of units that we don't normally see, because they are much lower in cost than some of the other carries.
And I think that he picked that team just to make me tilt because it's public how I hate evasion. I had to make him change his team name too because it was another team name that was made just to troll me. And anyway, I couldn't make it public, so. So yeah, we just met and he already hates me. No, he's a really nice guy. Can't wait to talk with him. Next is the Greatestness, so a veteran of WDL and WBEL. So here we have A2, 2P, Amnelis, mainly as the main carries. We have another Auronnj, and we have the fancy pick of Oldoa.
I mean, I like it. Like I said, this is purely, I mean, aside from the two win picks, this is purely that cold triangle again. And just like Orange's roster, we see the two main carries being A2 and 2P, which was, we kind of foreshadowed earlier with the unit selection chart. But seeing both of them on the same roster for both Greatestness and Ouronnj is pretty telling that that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of going forward. But that being said, I do like those choices. Those are two very strong units, and having them as your main carries, I think is a very smart choice.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's not a lot to add to A2 and 2P because we all know how strong they are. I think the sleeper pick is also Amnelis, especially since we got a preview of what her upgraded limit burst is in JP, where she gets guaranteed hits or something. So I think that covers a lot of her biggest weaknesses. So it's definitely a unit I'd watch out for.
Yeah, she's pretty good. The only thing is her lack of accuracy. Yeah, it kind of got solved with his with her LB, but the only thing is that her LB, I think it's suppressor down, which isn't the best thing in our kit, and it's an AoE too. But yeah, I really like the unit. I used her a lot in the different game modes. Perfect. So next we have Ksaun. He was very tempted by this team because it's all FF7, not only
Oh
7.
my gosh.
Yeah, it's a Final Fantasy collab.
It's all Final Fantasy collab.
I love it.
I do too. That's amazing. As I was scrolling down the list, I'm like, surely not. Surely it's the first 4. This is the first 7. No. This is incredible.
When he showed me his team, the first thing I said to him was, "All right, I guess that you wanted to take an extra water-free month." He said, "What are you implying that I won't make the playoffs?" I was like, "I never said that." I think that Lightning is a very sleeper pick. I think that he has something in mind. It's not the most competitive roster so far, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because I think that Lightning and Snow are really crazy strong. We also saw recently in WDL how Galbez can also be very, very strong.
Yeah, like one thing I will note too is that the lowest cost he has on here is 50 because there's no collab units. There's no Final Fantasy collab units that are below 50. I don't think. I guess Gafgarian, but he should be the free cost unit. Like he's so bad. But that being said, so it makes team building for Ksaun a little more difficult because I'm trying to look for pairings, but I'm seeing some strong ones like Lightning, Orlandu, Titus right there because you have the Knight, Warrior, Red Mage, which is all on that Lucio VC. I see there's also the double Lightning synergy there too. I saw the Renoa also glove, as I said, for my team pairs up well with Knight, but actually no, because that one needs a 40 cost. But still, I think there's still like a lot of really good options that he has here, even though he is going for the full Final Fantasy collab thing here. I still think there's some really strong teams that he can build, especially Aerith being a 60 cost support. That was one other character I thought was a really good choice at 60 cost. I just don't own her, so I wasn't able to choose her myself.
Yeah, when I first saw the roster, the first thing that drew me was Galvez and Prompto, and I'm a big fan of Prompto. I used to use him a lot in Guild Wars, so I'm excited to see how Prompto pops off. He can definitely do some sneaky missile with bad Prompto and Lightning, so that should be fun. Also excited to see. I don't remember who was using Titus recently in WDL, but I think Titus here should be a nice pair with the with the other units. Cloud and Auronnj also, the surprise greatsword synergy. I think it really is going to be sort of a job VC type of play for Ksaun here.
I agree, and the only last thing I'll point out is, like I said, lots of ice and water units too, and we already know that those have really good VC synergy with the Dark Espers. So, being able to pair those together, Snow with Aerith, sounds super annoying. Sounds super sustaining, and with Titus too, as he can put out some good damage too. A full hasted team with Titus, Snow, and Aerith sounds pretty scary, honestly.
Next one is the veteran Machen.
The glorious guild leader.
So another team, the two puffs. It's because there's two of each unit, so Paulette is there 2 times, Raryu is there 2 times, Zazan is there 2 times, Salaire 2 times, Victora 2 times.
I love it. I'm loving these theme teams so much. And of course, Machen would be the one to do it. Hats off. That's all I gotta say.
At least this one is it can be very competitive. Owlet is max reincarnated. Raryu, we just saw in WDL last season how strong it can be. Zazan can be very nifty if you don't prepare against him. And Victora, I mean, she can land a charm from everywhere. So we have the ice and water synergy that's there. I really like the Zazan pick. He can surprise us for sure.
Yeah, I like how he managed to sneak in Howl at the Heavens Blade in a theme team. Because that's very sneaky of him while maintaining the theme here. I also like the Salir pick, because Salir's a good unit to deal with evasion units. And I think she might be one of the few units here that can deal with evasion more reliably.
Despite having this themed roster, he still managed to have the cold triangle right there.
Yeah.
And not only that, the units he chose, like, even though it's themed, Halloween Ryu, we saw him pop off really well. Numero mentioned the Howl at the Heavens Blade. Victoria, I think, is really good. I think she's just got a little hard to use, but I think she can really pop off as well. And like once again, as you mentioned, the Salir, I don't see her ever anymore. But as a 60 cost lightning unit, like, I think she can put in some really strong work. So, man, I do like this team formation, and it's themed. Like, I don't get how this team is themed and can still be so good.
Next one is a Maou. At first, when I saw the roster, I told him, I was like, I'm concerned about your team. And he was like, oh no, you don't know. You just don't know what I tried to build. And I was like, you sure? Because he's a friend of mine. We know each other in real life. And he was like, I was like, okay, let's just do some mocks. I just want to point out what I think. And I've lost all my mocks. I wanted to prove him wrong.
Wow.
I couldn't, yeah. So it's a very underrated team, I would say. So yeah, I won't trash it. Even though those are really solid picks. I think that he improved a lot, but a lot in the last WDL season. He started on the wrong foot, but at the end, I think that he really sees his identity in the game. He's a new player. It's been playing the game for 1 year. He's now pretty strong. Right off the bat, he started the game playing manual, so I think that he really wanted to have the feel of the game to gain experience the fastest possible. Hats off to him. I can't wait to see how he'll do this season with this roster.
Has it been only a year? It feels like we've known Maou for a while. But I do think that although Mission Severo will be like a scary comp to face, with Aldoa taking all the hits and Mission Severo really putting out the damage, I think that's a team to be worried about. I think I'm curious though why they picked Mia as a 30 cost, because I have no idea what Mia does. It'd be nice to see Mia around.
Yeah, no, I agree. It'd be nice to see Mia around, because I also have no idea what she does. Because, like, for me, once again, looking at the roster and looking at his high cost, I would have expected to see Tyrell, honestly. But he must have some hidden tech with Mia that I'm just not aware of. But that being said,
for Mia, I talked the same before I had my match against GB79 last season at WDL. He was the one that pointed out that she may be the best 30 cost in last season WDL, and now I know why. She can dispel, she can reduce AP, I think, on it. She can decrease the single target resistance of 30, I think, and she's really bulky. She was the MVP in my fight against him, except the fact that Soul has one-shotted my whole team. But the fact that I needed 3 hits to kill her with Flag Bearer Glaciela, it tells everything. If she's built right, she can save a lot of turns for your other units. For 30 costs, very underrated.
That's fair, And she does have Cleric sub, right? If you want to be sneaky with other stuff, other support. I am excited also to see Mao's Whisper. I know the Whisper popped off in WDL, so I'm excited to see more of that Whisper.
Honestly, I'm excited for that whole group right there in the middle, that Lightning, Little Leela, Ravies, Whisper, because I think Lightning as a main carry, and then having Ravies with the Lightning synergy and also the VC synergy. or being able to pivot if he expects magic with the little Leela and Whisper instead. Like, I think that is a very just strong core of 4 units right there that can honestly take on a lot of different team comps.
Yeah, I was concerned at first because his first 2 picks are Ice and Stretches, although I think that we may have overcosted her because I thought that she was like non-playable at that cost, but I was wrong. I'll just say that. Alright, so next one, we have Maughanman with Dirty Slushy here. I think this guy plays water a lot.
Yeah, this is like a fourth of the water fix.
Oh, I love it though. I mean, like I said, you saw my roster. I chose like 5 or 6 light units. You know, you play what you like, you play what you know. Because that's one of the things I think really gets a lot of wins is playing the units and the elements that you're comfortable with. And Maughanman pops off with water, so I think that this is probably a really good choice from him. And having those supplemental units for just to fill out that cold triangle. You know, he's like, even though water is 6 of his 10 units, being able to have Melnia there as a very strong Earth DPS, and Nasha there as a ice tank to help against the wind threats. I think that's a really good choice.
Oh, it's definitely a trap team. He probably won't use his water team fall season. He'll wait for the lightning team and just play Earth.
What's interesting to me and such a good pick is Noctis, because Noctis can get really high lightning resistance. So I think having him cover and protect the water units is a really good choice. Very excited to see Lara Croft also. I'm a big fan of the unit. They did her dirty, so I'm excited to see Lara in the matches.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to point out too. I'm really excited to see Lara Croft. I have not seen her since she was released, I don't think. So being able to see her in WBL, hopefully. If he doesn't pick Lara Croft, I will understand it, but I will be sad.
And I mean, Lara Croft, Melnia, and Nasha would be a good team. Nasha covering and protecting the range units from the back.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty strong team, for like a really good gunner team. So I do hope we see it once again. Hopefully not against me, but I do hope to see it.
Oh, we forgot our rules. One of the new rules is that if you use all the units in your roster, you have 1 extra standing point at the end of the season. So we may see that Lara Croft.
I sure hope so.
And the last one, and not the least, we have a Sushi. Sushi is a new player. I think that she started 1 year ago. She really popped off in FNM, so a Friday Night Fight. She beat me the first the first time we play against one another. So yeah, for a new player, she's really strong. We see there it's about the same as Maou. So we have A2, Oldoa the tactician, and we still have the lightning option too. But we see a big gun synergy. So Irvine and Luarta, really spicy. Yeah, she can surprise with the team for sure.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but is she the first player to have 12 characters in her roster? Because I think this is...
Oh, right.
The list looks a little bit longer than what I'm used to, so she definitely has 12, and I think she's the first one. There's so many low costs. I see she picked 330 costs, 340 costs. So she's, I think, definitely leaning on the A2 and Oldo the Tactician and Irvine to an extent carries, and then just supporting them with really just a versatile amount of low costers.
Yeah, I agree. I think with powerhouse units like A2 and Oldo, I think a good strategy would be to be flexible in who you pair them up with. So I think this is what they were going for. I think there are a lot of options to mix and match, and even if they don't have all the same jobs, I can see Oldo Oldo just tanking up the hits with some people like Ramada throwing spears from behind, or Vadim sneakily moving behind the enemies to sneak attack them. So I think it's a nice versatile selection.
All right, perfect. All right, so this was the last team. before I let you go for this division, I want to know about your experience during the selection process, because with 200 costs, it was kind of heartbreaking at times. So, how did you like the experience?
So personally, it was, like you said, it was heartbreaking. It was pretty rough. There were some units I really wanted to pair with each other, but just because the cost just wouldn't work out. So I had to make some very creative decisions. And it's not just the 200 cost for the team, the 700 cost overall was pretty rough.
Yeah.
I actually had a situation where I was at 710 and I was like, I don't want to cut any of these units. So what I ended up doing was swapping out, because I wanted to run Sakura. So I swapped out Sakura with Elshra. So you had to make some cuts, you had to make some sacrifices, but ultimately I like the restriction. I think it helps make teams a little bit more creative,
Yep.
but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean it wasn't rough.
I agree. I think when the rules came out first, and there were no restrictions with element picks, because last season you could only pick 2 per element.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy. I thought, okay, no more restrictions like that. And then we got the 200 cost, and then the 700 point roster, and that was really hard to fix. The way I did my roster selection was I listed down all the units I wanted to pick or to use generally, and then I had to cut from there. And there were so many units I had to cut just because they would go over cost, or these units are fun to pick, but I have no team for them necessarily. So it was rough having to take out some stuff, but I think it does allow for a fun experience. I think 200 cost is very tight, and I think it encourages more flexibility and more variety for players. As you can see from Sushi here, look at all those low costers, you know.
Yeah, it was the purpose. We really wanted to be aggressive on the cost of the older generation units to encourage players to play a more wide variety of old units. And from what we can see right now, it worked. Right now, I'm pretty happy about it. I think Chisei too. So yeah, I can't wait to see the beginning of the season.
Yeah, same here.
Same here.
All right, thank you guys. It was really pleasing to be talking with you again. All right, so we'll see you again in the next video. Thank you very much.